Started working with the National Police in 2017 after I was invited to come over with the then director of ISITAP, Rob Peacock. I was in the process of retiring from the Covington Police Department. He received word of that, and since I had been there previously in 2008 with the adoption of our son, he felt like I was a little bit better suited to come over. So it was the end of 2017. I accepted the offer and I made my way over there.
Bryan was facilitating a dignitary visit of the National Police of Ukraine, and through our embassy to Northern Kentucky for the purpose of seeing how small and rural agencies function.
Ukraine National Police is their system of policing throughout the country. With a national police department, it tends to be more centralized, where the headquarters for the police department is in the capital city, and the police officers are farmed out from there.
To kind of give you an idea of what the national police or how they are made up, unlike the United States, where we have over 18,000 different law enforcement agencies, all working for different municipalities, states, or the federal government. In Ukraine, they have one agency, the National Police of Ukraine. And they're broken into oblasts, which we would call a state, or if you look at the country, it's broken up into large county areas. That's what they call their oblasts. And everything funnels up to the headquarters in Kyiv.
Several members of the National Police Department command staff visited Northern Kentucky in 2018. The reason for the visit was they were starting the decentralization of some of the police officers by putting them into communities. And they wanted to see how departments throughout Northern Kentucky handled it, since we have a much more decentralized way of policing. So they kind of wanted to see the structure of the different police departments and how they handled the deployment of officers. So that was the reason that they were here. There were probably 12 to 15 of the command staff that were from different parts of Ukraine that visited Northern Kentucky.
And then about 6 months later, I got a phone call from a professor from Florida International University asking me if I would be interested. He said, I understand you want to retire, but you need a purpose. So I went over to Ukraine for 3 weeks and took vacation, went over there to see if I would enjoy it, and I did. Since I retired in 2019, February of 19, I've been over there about 8 or 9 times, teaching various topics: community policing, supervision, leadership, management, doing mentoring programs, whatever we can do to help.
The reason I would go over is there would be set training in different cities. Some of the training that I conducted, it ranged from organizational change to problem-oriented supervision, community-oriented policing, scene management, effective communication, and several other courses that I've taught, depending on which project I was working on at that time.
Greetings, international law enforcement community. My name is Alex Bilashitsky, and I'm the first Deputy Chief of the Department of Patrol Police of Ukraine. And we provide our services to all the people of our country all over Ukraine. More than 20 days, we are under attack by Russia. Missiles, bombs, and artillery is destroying our cities, killing our families, and ruining our country. Every day there are lots of casualties amongst children, elderly people, and amongst the whole nation of Ukraine. Together with army forces and territorial defense forces, we protect and serve our country and our people. We are providing police services every and each day, and we have adapted to the circumstances and the environment of war. Not only we fight violence and crime in our streets, but also we help coordinate evacuations, we provide assistance to the humanitarian missions, we conduct rescue and search operations, we fight Russian infiltrates on our streets, and provide every possible assistance, every possible police assistance to the country in this very moment. And we're doing our best to protect our country. But we ask for your assistance with providing us with protective gear, technical equipment, and medical supplies to help us continue doing so. And our brave Ukrainian soldiers and police officers are ready to fight for Ukraine's freedom, dignity, and very existence. And we are ready to stand tall before the aggressor. You know that Ukraine is not fighting just for Ukraine. We're not fighting just for our homeland, for our people, but we also fight for democracy. We also fight for freedom, and we also fight for the right of being a sovereign country. And we are ready to show that the democratic world and the good will always prevail against the evil. Thank you. And Slava Ukraini.
So the invasion of Ukraine happened in February of 2022, and I had just been there in December of 2021, and I had visited many small communities and villages around the capital city and up around the Belarusian border. So when I received word that the invasion was starting, it was almost like how you hear people describe a panic attack. I think that's kind of what I was having, or those were the feelings that I was having. And it was a very helpless feeling for me. So that's when Mike Ward and I started talking, probably a few days after the invasion, that we need to do something. We can't just sit here.
We put our heads together and we came up with, through the Kentucky Association of Chiefs of Police, the American Police Outreach Program. And we started asking for donations, raising funds, and to date we have sent over 200 pieces of body armor and about $45,000 worth of first aid equipment, supplies to the police that are in the field fighting.
What stands out to me most about Ukraine is that the people in general are so welcoming to almost anyone. I visited many villages the last time I was there, and they embraced me, and they would embrace anyone. The people there did not ask for this. They did not deserve it. And so I have a little bit of trouble processing what's going on because it's kind of rare for such a sovereign country as Ukraine to be invaded.
Their sense of nationalism is second to none. And I knew that they would not capitulate. They would not lay down and allow Russia to walk over top of them. They would fight with every fiber of their being, man or woman.